Back in the early 16th century, the area we know as the Netherlands was a commercially active but relatively remote corner of the Spanish Empire. By the middle of that century, the people we call the Dutch converted to Protestantism, rebelled against their Spanish Catholic overlords, and by 1579, they set up the independent Dutch Republic. The Spanish and the Dutch go at each other for 80 years over this issue. One of the few breaks in that conflict was a 12-year truce that began in 1609. That truce was the incentive that sent Henry Hudson to the New World on his historic voyage. As for the Dutch, free of Spanish control, they prospered immediately. By the early 1600s, they're not only making money, they're beginning to achieve greatness in the arts, sciences, philosophy, international law. This little nation of 1.5 million people enter the era we still call today the Dutch Golden Age. Amsterdam will become the city of Europe of the 17th century. In that era, it will be one of Europe's largest cities, one of its richest, certainly its most educated, its most middle class, and its most tolerant. The Dutch tolerated you by leaving you alone. And by not persecuting people just because they had a different opinion, the Dutch were creating the first modern secular society in European history. These unique Dutch values travel across the Atlantic in Dutch cargo ships. True, some of those ships carried slaves, but they also carried to North America a new idea of how a society should work. And that idea was certainly applied to the colony's main settlement at the mouth of the Hudson River. From its very beginnings, that little burg at the southern tip of Manhattan Island had more in common with its mother city than just a name. We were not like Boston or Philadelphia. They were English. We were New Amsterdam, and we were Dutch.